Welcome to Knoxville. I'm Davis Tarwater with my wife, Lady Vol alum Brittany Tarwater, and this is a double duel Friday night. Alabama, the University of Virginia at the University of Tennessee, and we're starting out hot with the women's 200 medley relay. Brittany.
Yeah, expect this race to be really competitive on all three sides as we get tonight started in Knoxville, Tennessee. Glad to be in the water, really excited to be here. This is a fast meet, a lot of really strong competition from top to bottom from all three teams. And like you said, Davis, I expect this relay to start off the meet red hot. We've seen some really fast times from the swimmers so far from yesterday's events, coming off of finals at Thursday night. And I think eyes are set on Virginia as we start this meet off for the women's 200-yard medley relay.
And I almost feel hesitant to say it, but with the way Virginia's swimming, I don't want to go ahead and put the American record on alert.
Hey, come on.
But this is a good relay.
And all three teams here have excellent backstroke legs, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's pretty even split right in the middle of the pool, right there.
This is Gamelik for Virginia, Harper for Tennessee, White for Alabama.
White, the SEC record holder in the 100 backstroke. Her split, 24 flat. She's got her hand on the wall first. Second is Virginia with 24-1, both excellent splits to start off this race so far.
For Tennessee, that's McSherry, the product of Ireland. She's been very impressive leading up to this and is having a great split so far. But right now, Virginia with Winger looks to take the lead through the breaststroke leg.
Yeah, Tennessee, you just mentioned there, catching up to Alabama on that breaststroke leg. McSherry going a really fast swim this morning, 58.6 in the 100 breaststroke to make it an almost even field right now for Tennessee and Alabama. Virginia, though, very strong lead right there in the middle of the pool. And watching here at us at home, Virginia in lane 5. And it's a race for second right now.
That's Alex Walsh from Nashville, Tennessee, a product of Harpeth Hall. Virginia comes in first, 134.5. Walsh splitting 21 mid. Maybe very solid early season swim for Virginia. That's a great swim. Tennessee, Grinter getting home for second. And then UVA actually with their B getting third. So solid start for the UVA women, which is one, if not the top teams in the country. And we move to the men's medley relay.
And moms and dads watching at home, we know you want to do splits. We're not seeing all the splits right now on the board, but we will try to get them to you as soon as we can. Also, a good reminder to download the new mobile app. And you already have on your phone, but that's a really good way to keep up with the kids' splits.
And also math is something we're not exactly the best at. It's fast math. It's easier math on the 800 free relay, as you all know. And it's very interesting, you know, there's no one in this building but the teams and the coaches and the support staff, but it does have some atmosphere. The teams are doing a great job of that.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how the teams have been split up across the pool. If you're looking at the screen right now, the top of your screen is going to be Tennessee's C relay, then Virginia's B relay, and Tennessee's B relay right now. Virginia's A relay right now, 5, Alabama's B relay 6, Tennessee's B relay in 7, and then Tennessee has a D relay down there in lane 3.
Tennessee will lead off with Harrison Lears. Alabama, Matthew Minke. Georgia, Will Cole. Virginia, my bad. That'll be Cole in at 21-6. Lears 22-0. Minke 21-7. That's Michael Hooley for Tennessee. Excellent split.
All three teams separated by just over a tenth of a second. Tennessee with a slight advantage. Actually, Virginia and Alabama touching at the same time at that breaststroke split, but Alabama looks like it's starting to get an edge. Alabama with a 7/10.
It was a big split from Alabama's Colton Stogner. That's 20.5. Alabama with Matt King coming home. He's out fast. Alabama will finish this off. That's 18-8. Solid back end for Alabama. Great flying free leg. Tennessee finishing with Scanlon will be second, and Brownstead finishing up for UVA in third. Again, the splits are in 25s, so I can only pick one due to my myopic split taking ability.
It's pretty quick relays.
Very quick relays. Very quick relays. I think the two things that I would take from that is that the back end of Alabama's relay is elite. They separated themselves from the field there, and I think that's something that they can really hang their hat on. They've got a good tradition. They've got a good new coach in Coley Stickles. And then just top to bottom, Virginia's depth in these relays, their ability to field 5 good relays is just outstanding. And then you look at Tennessee specifically. Tennessee on both sides is a really young team, and they lost some big pieces last year. But from a depth perspective, I think when we look at Tennessee, I think what we're going to see tonight is that they are deeper. They're 20 deep is deeper. Obviously, it's hard to replace a Megan Small or an Erica Brown, but from 1 to 20, it's a very versatile and well-built team.
And you mentioned the environment here. It almost feels like a championship environment. Virginia's women's team is just outstanding, and ranked number 1 in the country. Would have been, if you scored out the meet, the winning team as it was seeded at the NCAA championships from the spring. Of course, that meet was canceled, but Tennessee scored out to be right behind Virginia. So you're seeing a really, really high-level meet. Specifically, and I'm not discrediting Alabama, but specifically on the Tennessee-Virginia side, on the women's side, and this is a double dual meet, so it's scored a little bit differently. And Davis, you can explain how, when we're watching our finals heats, they're going to be a little bit different than what you may have seen based on prelims.
Yeah, and when you talk to the coaching staff, they all seem to really enjoy this double dual meet concept. So it's a prelims and finals double dual meet, meaning that Tennessee swimming Virginia, Alabama swimming Virginia, Alabama swimming Tennessee, Tennessee swimming Alabama, so on and so forth. And this is taking place of a normal invite. And due to COVID, due to the 2020 world that we're in, and all no doubt enjoying so much, we're the only two people in here without masks because we're standing at the top of we're on basically on the rooftop screaming screaming down. But this would be a time in the season where typically you would look to try to post some fast times.
Yes.
And both of these teams look like they've had a little rest. If you talk to their coaches, they will all probably say, we have had no rest whatsoever. And as two former athletes, we all know,
we know what
that
means.
they all have rest.
Right.
We can look at it.
Point in the season.
To varying degrees, but it's certainly a great confidence building thing to have the opportunity to swim fast in December, and even looking at last night, there were some incredible swim. I mean, Kate Douglas, 150 point, the 200 IM. I mean that's I believe third fastest in history. I mean there were just some absolutely phenomenal swims from all three of these teams. And we're going to have the opportunity to look at some standouts from all three of these programs. So this is it feels good to be at a swim meet.
Yeah, it does. It was so much.
I know that all the parents at home wish they were at a swim meet, but these teams are doing a great job creating energy, pulling for each other. The staff is doing a good job, and this is a safe environment. But especially being an Olympic year, it feels good to have a little bit of normalcy and be at a swim meet.
Yeah, it really does. And to your point, there's so much uncertainty this year with what could happen in the future in competition, the conference levels and then at the NCAA levels. But with the teams being required to have 6 competitions in order to compete in the postseason, this one counts as 2. So that could be very important. Of course, those rules could change given the unusual circumstances surrounding COVID, but I'm sure to be able to race once and get 2 competitions under their belt is something that the coaches are paying attention to. Some other things that we're noticing, of course, no fans being here in the stands, but I think swimmers are okay with that. You know, we're used to kind of staying in our own lane in competition. So I'm not sure that is deterring much of this competition, but also it's kind of hard to see this, especially with the camera being pulled back so you can see all 8 lanes. There is a plastic barrier separating each lane that comes out about a yard or so, and that's just there for extra protection and making sure that the athletes can stay safe in this competition. So next up, we're going to see the 100 butterfly, and some really exciting stuff here posted from this morning, but also Ryan White from Alabama, SEC record holder. She's going to be somebody to watch for Alabama in the final heat in lane 5 in the next event, 100 fly.
So we'll have 3 heats of the women's 100 fly, 3 heats of the men's 100 fly. Then we'll move to the 400 IM, where we have 2 heats of women, 2 heats of men. Then we'll have another break. This is kind of an interesting thing, just given the fact that there's only 3 teams here. They need to take breaks for people that have multiple events, so that's probably a good thing. We have we being the commentators have a confused 11-month-old at home who's probably wondering why his uncle is waking him up from his nap. Could also potentially wonder what parent would allow their child their 11-month-old to take a nap in the 5 o'clock hour. And luckily for us, that child's uncle will deal with the aftermath of that. But we plan to be with you for as long as we can tonight and then tomorrow.
Yes, parents of all these successful athletes, we are taking advice on how to do this. Some of the highlights that came out of yesterday. Kate Douglas is pretty outstanding, setting 2 ACC records yesterday coming out of Virginia. It is pretty outstanding to be swimming as fast as she's swimming at this point in the season, especially coming off of such an unusual season regarding training and how touch and go that's been for so many athletes this summer and even this season. Some of the times that she went 21.4 leading off the 200 freestyle relay yesterday, breaking the ACC record that previously was 21.48. She went 21.42. That's a fast time. And when I was swimming, people were talking about potentially having women break a 22. So that's pretty outstanding. And then she went 150.92 in the 200 IM, breaking her own ACC record from last season. So pretty exciting to see such versatility and such speed in lots of different events. And there are several other swimmers who we're seeing versatility like that. Ryan White from Alabama, I mentioned her earlier, the junior coming out of Utah. She's an All-American in the backstroke and in butterfly. Won both events at SECs and set SEC records in both events. Her 200 backstroke, 148.0, was the top time. I'm sorry, one of the top 10 times in history. So we'll be able to see both of those girls race tonight, and that should be very exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. And then moving on to the men's 100 fly, Tennessee's Kaik Moda, 45.6 this morning.
Wow.
And what a big benefit that is. That is an elite swim. Again, no matter what time of year you're talking, 45.6, you want that on your team. So this morning he was over a second ahead of the next qualifier, so it'll be really interesting to see if he can bring that down or at this point, even if he stayed the same, I think the Tennessee coaching staff would look at that and say, good, we'll take that and move forward. So I also think that we're going to see a very solid couple of 400 IMs. Tennessee's Alexis Yeager, really solid morning swim this morning. She's putting together a good season so far. Had a good season last year. But Tennessee, to this point, especially on the women's side, has just shown so much versatility, so much willingness and desire to swim the IMs. And I just think we've talked about it. It really bodes well for their just completeness as a team.
And when you think about the teams who really have their eyes set on championships, this is a good look at that because it requires depth. It requires swimmers who can swim, who are this versatile, and to have depth in the 400 IM, to have depth in the 200 IM, and some of your 200s of stroke, and then to also have sprinters that can complement that full package. It requires depth, as you know. You've got to be getting in on the top heats, but you also have to have some depth if you want to take home a championship. And Alabama has just done an outstanding job in the last year, and with a new coaching staff who's really done a nice job elevating the performance of Alabama. They've, had really phenomenal swimmers throughout history, but it's exciting to see how well Alabama is performing and how that elevates all of the SEC. By the way, some talk in the SEC about possibly splitting the men's and the women's competition. Parents, you may have heard this, potentially splitting the men's competition away from the women's competition, similar to what they do at NCAAs and in other conferences like the ACC. So we may see something like that. Of course, all of that surrounding the coronavirus conversation, and we'll learn more about that and more about the climate surrounding the virus as we move into the spring and into championship season.
And what the spectator situation looks like, I think that's yet to be seen. I feel for these kids, and I feel for their parents who are watching at home, forced to listen to us.
Yeah. They've probably muted by now.
They probably have muted.
I've actually talked to some Tennessee parents, which has been really fun to get in touch with some of the parents of current swimmers who have talked about some creative ways. I'm not going to spoil anything, but some creative ways to make the athletes know that they are supported from afar. So we're seeing some of that surrounding all different sports, people getting creative with the way that they're showing their love and support to family and to some of the athletes who are competing. So maybe we'll see some of that. But the athletes are all spread out across the pool. A lot of people wear masks, athletes included, when they're not competing. But other than that, like you said, Davis, it feels like a swim meet, and that there's a refreshing sense of normalcy to be watching a swim meet.
We're just getting the 2-minute warning here for the start of the women's 100 fly. There'll be 3 heats of this. The first of those will feature all Lady Vols swimmers. McKenna Morello, Annie Remmer, a Knoxville product, Carter High School, and Jordan Arno Reese.
And you'll notice this because of the double duel, that the top 8, then top 16, then top 24 swimmers are not necessarily in the top heats. Meaning there are going to be some swimmers who are in the A finals who had swimmers in the B finals who outperformed them in prelims. So just keep an eye on that if that clears up any confusion. for you following along at home. And we'll do our best to keep you posted.
Take your mark.
Again, all three Lady Vols. Morello in 3, Remmer in 4, Arno Reese in 5. Out quickly is Morello. Remmer actually turning first at the 50, out in 25.7, very quick opening speed. Very close race between these two. At the wall, that'll be Morello, 55.6, Rimmer 55.6, 4/100ths of a second between them, and Arno Reese 57.52. This will be heat 2. Again, Brittany, this is what you were talking about and demonstrates Virginia's depth. You can only have 3 people from each team in the A final. Lexi Cuomo in 4, coming in at 52.4, would have very easily made the A final.
In lane 1, we have Margaret Mirando from Tennessee. In lane 2, Ashley Volkenberg from Alabama. Lane 3, Flora Molnar from Alabama. In lane 4, Lexi Cuomo from Virginia. In lane 5 is Megan Sichterman from Tennessee. Lane 6 is Kat Wright from Alabama. In lane 7, Maria Reed from Alabama. And in lane 8 is Marie Quas from Tennessee. And to out strong, not a big surprise based on her swim this morning, is Lexi Cuomo right there in the middle of the pool from Virginia.
She was out in 24.5, solid opening 50 for her.
And great underwaters on her last leg. And coming into the wall very strong. Also right behind her from Alabama is Flora Molnar.
It's 52.2 for Cuomo. Coming in second, Molnar from Alabama, 52.0. Third, Maria Reed from Alabama, 53.7. This will be the A final, which will feature a number of extremely high-performing young ladies. Kate Douglas in 4 was exceptional last night, as we mentioned. Trudy Rothrock, Mona McSherry, and Mallory Beal from Tennessee, all extremely solid swims this morning.
And Ryan White from Alabama is the SEC record holder in this event. 50.8 is her best time, and also the SEC record. So my eyes are on her too. In lane 1 is Mallory Beal from Tennessee. Lane 2, Mona McSherry from Tennessee. Lane 3, Trudy Rothrock from Tennessee. Lane 4, Kate Douglas from Virginia. Lane 5, Ryan White from Alabama. Lane 6, Abby Harder from UVA. Jessica Nava in lane 7 from UVA, and Gracie Fellner from lane 8. From Alabama in lane 8. That's from top to bottom on your screen.
Take your mark.
The meet record and the pool record both held by Erica Brown at 49.79. The American record also held by Erica Brown at 49.38. Douglas out very fast.
Very fast. A whole body length ahead of the field right now, and we're not even halfway. The rest of the field's
23.1 for Douglas. Second, Rothrock, 24.1. Douglas has almost a second lead on the field.
Also, Mallory Beal from Tennessee in lane 1. putting together a pretty nice back half of this race. And there's White right there looking like she's going to tuck second.
That's 49.73 from Douglas. That is a meet and pool record. Excellent, excellent swim. 49.7. Out in 23.1, back in 26.5. Excellent swim. Ryan White, 51.4 in second. Abby Harder, 51.7 in third. And Trudy Rothrock. Solid swim for Trudy Rothrock in at 51.4, I believe. So very good swim there. Sorry, 51.7. My apologies on Rothrock.
Take your mark.
This is heat 1 of 3 of the men's 100 fly.
In lane 1, we have Joe Jordan from Tennessee. Lane 2 from UVA, Nico Ferrara. Lane 3, Sam DeSetti from Bama. Lane 4, Cade Otterbach from Alabama. Lane 5 is Jack Gillespie from Tennessee. Lane 6 is Matt King from Alabama. Lane 7, Henry Shute from UVA. And in lane 8, Cole Brown from Alabama. That's top to bottom on your screen. And Matt King.
47.9 for Matt King. In second, 48.4 for Jack Gillespie. In third, Cade Auerbach from Alabama, 48.6. Very good swim out of the C final for Matt King.
Who just came off of that relay.
She's showing the lanes. She's showing the lanes. Heat 2 of the men's fly. Top seed is going to be Connor Klinksiak from Virginia. That is Klinksiak at 21.9 for Virginia.
Keep your eye on lane 7. Joel Gerardo is putting together a really nice swim.
That is Klinksiak in 47.7, but Gerardo 47.8, which is a significant improvement, almost 8/10 on this morning as we move into the A final.
That's encouraging to see such speed and toughness on the back end of that 100 fly. It's not an easy double to do that in the morning and then come back and do that at night.
No, absolutely not. And as we get into Kaik Moda, if I know Lance Asti, like I think I know Lance Asti, there will be a heavy emphasis on underwater dolphin kicking. And this race in general has moved to being one that is especially short course, swum almost exclusively underwater. If you can't commit to being 15 yards underwater off of each wall in this race, it's really hard to compete. So it'll be very interesting.
It's really incredible to see how well so many swimmers can execute those underwaters, especially on the 75 and on the last leg of your 100s and 200s even. How that's something that's really changed the landscape of every stroke, not just in some of the strokes where we would typically associate that butterfly kick. But there's a lot of swimmers who can do that extremely well, and they tend to be the ones you see at the top.
And timing and execution.
Okay, good mark.
And on cue,
And a great
excellent
start.
start for Moda. Very quick off of that first wall. He will lead the field 20.9. Extremely fast opening split.
And Colton Stogner right there in lane 8, too, for Alabama.
He'll be followed by Colton Stogner in 8 by Alabama.
And also Max
And just
Edwards,
excellent tempo from Moda. Digging deep. 45.5. 46.5 for Stogner. Max Edwards, 46.7.
And Josh
Then
Long finishing
following
fourth.
from Tennessee, we've got Luke Bryce at 47.3 and Jordan Tiffany at 47.7. But very, very, very impressive early season swim. That's almost 2/10 faster from this morning. That's a great butterflyer, and what an asset for the Vols to have on their short relay, their long relay, and in the flies. Just exceptional discipline, especially you look at those last 10 strokes. Maintained tempo, maintained integrity, maintained discipline. He looked like an ASTI 100 flyer.
Okay, good mark.
We're moving into the women's 400 IM, changing the tempo of the meet just a little bit, coming off of some shorter, faster swims, and going into the 4 IM. Madeline Donahoe from UVA in lane 3, Amanda Noonan in lane 4 for Tennessee, and Emily Sykes in lane 5 for Tennessee. And a pretty even field as we start to round out the first leg of the 400 IM, which of course is 100 butterfly.
And again, another example. Noonan had a time that would have been fast enough to make the A heat, as would have Sykes. But given the fact that only 3 people can advance to the A heat from each team, Tennessee is capped at Yeager, Katzer, and Breslin, who we will see coming up.
Which, if your depth looks like that, that's a pretty good problem to have as a team.
Donahoe looking very smooth as we transition into the breaststroke leg. Noonan right behind her, both turning at 201.8 and 202.6 respectively.
And then Emily Sykes coming in at 205.4. This leg tends to be one of the game changers, specifically in the 400 IM. Of course, you're all swim families, so you've seen lots of this before, but your breaststrokers tend to start to make a name for themselves in the 400 IM, which is what we're seeing right now.
And Sykes and Noonan are great breaststrokers. Yep. And in fact, Sykes is one of the top 10 breaststrokers in the history of this university. This University of Tennessee that you went to and I didn't. But looking very, very strong in lane 5 is Emily Sykes.
Yeah, Sykes looks great. Look how long her tempo is. Looking really smooth and confident going into her freestyle leg now, touching at 3:15.1. Amanda Noonan at 3:20.0, and Madeline Donahoe coming in at 3:23.0 going into that freestyle leg.
Noonan is an excellent distance freestyler. She may have a little bit too much ground to make up on Sykes. Turns in 3:45.5.
But I think this is what the coaches are looking for with toughness and what's in your head. How well can you finish? This event hurts. There's no way around that, especially now when your legs are smoked and you still have 100 freestyle at the end of this 4 IM. Coaching staff is going to be looking at how well you can finish this race, regardless of who is
And a
around
really
you.
tough finish from Noonan here. Sykes is going to be looking at a 4:14.9 and 4:16.9 from Noonan, and Donahoe 4:20.1, but a really nice swim and a nice close by Sykes, 29.3. I will point out Noonan 27.9 on her last 50, which is excellent closing speed for Noonan, and it bodes well for 1650.
That's exactly right. Some of the other events that they swim. Madeline Donahoe also finishing with that same split. So really great to see that coming out of Heat 1.
So excellent swim this morning from Jaeger. I think the race is absolutely going to be coming in the middle of the pool. From Jaeger and Ella Nelson, the Harpeth Hall product. Jaeger's best time coming into this is 4:05 something, 8. She's the third fastest performer in the history of the Lady Vol program.
Good mark.
Talk about another tough swim.
4:08 is a very solid morning swim for the morning of the invite.
You mentioned Ella Nelson from Nashville and how well UVA has mined the Nashville area for talent and has done such a nice job fine-tuning some of these athletes. Specifically coming out of one Nashville program. So exciting to see them, and I'm sure it feels good for them to be in a pool that they know.
They have competed. The Nashville crowd has competed in this pool quite a lot, and UVA, to their credit, has done an excellent job recruiting in the Nashville area from the John Morris coach Nashville Aquatic Club team.
56.0 from Ella Nelson out. Alexis Jaeger 56.4, and then Kenzie McMahon from Alabama right there in lane 2, touching at the fly leg in third right now, and then we'll see the landscape sort of change as we move into each leg.
And if you're Ella Nelson right now, you want to try to create as much space as you possibly can. Jaeger's a very talented breaststroker, and that appears to be her MO right now, is to put some distance between herself and Alexis Jaeger. But Sophia Wilson, also up here from Virginia, contending in this first tier.
And this event is so hard because Ella Nelson, by the way, at 1:58.6, and Alexis Yeager at 2004, Sophia Wilson 2006. It's so hard to play up your strengths and swim your race. Specifically in this event, you have to stay in your lane while still being aware of what's around you and your competitors' strengths and weaknesses. But Ella Nelson looks like she's in control.
This is an excellent swim for Ella Nelson.
Split 33.9. Alexis Yeager also split 33.9, just a hundredth of a second between those two splits. Sophia Wilson splitting 36.8 in the first 50 of her breaststroke leg.
Just an outstanding breaststroke leg from Ella Nelson. 34.2, turning in 306.8, 35. So she outsplit Yeager. If she can get home here, she is on track for a 405, 404, 400 IM, which would be an excellent, excellent start to the season. But just really pouring it on is Nelson.
We've got some other races happening on the ends of the pool. Just because
29.3 for Nelson there.
Just because
30.1 for Yeager.
I'll let you get these splits in, but just because Kenzie McMahon is in lane 2 doesn't mean that she can't see what's happening in lane 6, 7, and 8. And she's saying, I'm not going to let these girls beat me. And she's starting to separate herself from the field too. Kenzie McMahon is putting together an excellent
405.02 for Nelson.
and look at what's happening.
409.1 for Yeager.
Kenzie McMahon getting her hand on the wall to finish.
413.9 for McMahon.
413.9, and I wonder what her freestyle split was, because that was an exceptional freestyle leg for Kenzie McMahon. Outsplitting the field, and her last 50 was a 27.2.
But outstanding early season swim for Ella Nelson. A little bit off tonight for Alexis Yeager, this is a hard event to swim well twice. So the swim this morning, 4:08.7, solid swim. We're watching the first heat of the men's 400 IM, the B final. UVA has had a great tradition of IMers and distance freestylers. And it looks like they're loading up again.
Fong's out in 52.6. Guinness is out in 53.4 in lane 4, and I missed Tanner Hanning's split. So apologies to his parents. This is another really good example of toughness and getting in to race the guys who you go head-to-head with every day. I think this is a really good example of culture and the program that Virginia has been able to build is outstanding. Tanner Herring now in the lead here at 154. And he's got about a second on the field there. Daniel Guyana is starting to make some moves, but ran out of real estate to do it on his breaststroke leg. We'll see what happens here in freestyle.
.26 mid for both of those guys. So they're on track to surpass what they went this morning. They were both 355 low, pushing themselves.
You know what I like about Virginia, watching top to bottom too in races like this, they're doing the things, they're very disciplined, doing the things that are easy to do incorrectly. They're doing them right, and that's just part of that culture that they're building there, Virginia. And doing a really
That's
nice
354.3 from Guyanas and 354.5 from Herring. So this will be the A final of the men's 400 IM. Only have 7 of 8 lanes filled. And on paper, you would look at Casey Storch as the most decorated member from the University of Virginia. He's one of the top 10 400 IMers in their school history, I believe maybe top 5. Wasn't able to complete his season like everyone in this building that's a sophomore or above, but looked to be on track to have a very good NCAAs. Tennessee will have Diane Ripple in 1, Joel Gerardo in 2, and Sevier County native Thomas Horn in 7.
Take them up.
And Thomas Horn going out really fast right there on the bottom of your screen in lane 7, and being a local guy, you've seen a lot of him swim. And,
excellent
really
butterflyer. He's out in 23.1. Horn will lead at the 50. Storch following in 23.7. Horn continuing to look great. Horn will turn in 50.0, nearly a second and a half in front of Storch.
Yeah, holding up 3 Virginia swimmers right next to him in the middle of the pool, and still going into his first 25 on the backstroke leg, maintaining at least a body length lead.
Horn
really
looking very
swimming.
smooth, very confident.
Yeah, Thomas Horn.
Taking it out and going for it. Knowing Horn. He is devoid of a weak stroke, but we'll see how this plays out. This is a long race, but continuing to lead is Horn through the 175.
But Virginia's backstrokers are not going to let him have this one easily. You've got those two guys, Casey Storch and Sean Conway. And Matt Otto next to Horn, who are starting to give him some competition.
That's Storch in 149.3, but Horn turning in 150.0. Storch extending his lead, 30.7 on that 50.
And Sean Conway splitting 31-2, Matt Otto 31-4. So starting to separate themselves from the rest of the pack is UVA's IMers. And this leg here can be the make or break it leg, and for Virginia, it's the make it leg. So some really outstanding swimming here that we're seeing from Virginia going 1, 2, 3 right now.
It's 252 for Storch, 253 for Conway, 254.9 for Otto.
Piera in lane 3, 259.2 so far going into freestyle. Storch splitting 26.9 in his first 50 on the freestyle leg. And he's still picking up steam.
.345.7 for Storch, 347.5 for Conway, 350.5 for Otto. 3 really solid in-season times for Virginia. Pereira, 353.0. Gerardo, 356.8. Repole, 359.7. And Horn, 402.5. Got to give it to Horn, though. Out hard. And if I'm a staff, I'm encouraged by that. His 50.0 opening leadoff bodes well for his 200 fly. That's actually really solid speed. So, it looked like he had a mission. That mission was to go out really hard. He went out with the pack, and he's getting a fist bump here from Coach Rich, who acknowledged that probably hurt. And with that, we will move into a 15-minute break. And our portion of the commentary, much to the chagrin of our listeners, will come to an end. And we will hand it off, but see everyone tomorrow night for the 200s of stroke, the mile, the 100 free.
Yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff that's left here tonight. 200 freestyle, always an exciting event. looking forward to seeing that on both sides. 100 breaststroke, 100 backstroke, and then the 800 freestyle relay will wrap the night.
So if you're watching from home, head to the refrigerator and grab another Coca-Cola or whatever you've chosen to drink. We'll be back in 14 minutes.
on. It is just Johnny now announcing. So this will be heat 1 of the women's 200-yard freestyle.
Take your mark.
In lane number 1, we have Barrett Foss from Tennessee. Lane number 2, we have Annie Rimmer from Tennessee. Lane 3, we have Caroline Culp from Virginia. Lane 4, El Caldo from Tennessee. Lane 5, we have Carter Bistro from Virginia. Lane 6, Kristen Steggy from Tennessee. Lane 7, Polina Rukasev from Alabama. And in lane 8, Sophie Skinner from Virginia. All right, so coming in at the 150, El Caldo's in the lead, 124.49, followed by her teammate Kristen Steggy, 121.83. And at the finish, it is Caroline Culp from Virginia, 149.33, followed by El Caldo, 149.36. Now heading into heat number 2 for the women's 200-yard freestyle. Lane number 1, we have Madeline Mecklin from Alabama. Lane 2, Gracie Fellner from Alabama. Lane 3, Claire Wynn from Tennessee. Lane 4, Quinn Schlauter from Virginia. Lane 5, Nicola Lane from Tennessee. Lane 6, Bella Matza from Alabama. Lane 7, Lydia Jackson from Alabama. And in lane 8, Jada Norwood, Cyril Norwood from Alabama. Turning at the 150, Gracie Fellner, 118.49, followed by Quinn Schalder from Virginia. In third place, Nicola Lane from Tennessee. In first place, Gracie Fellner, 146.70, followed by Claire Wynn, 147.70. And in third place, Quinn Schalder from Virginia. Fourth place, Lydia Jackson from Alabama. Moving into the A final, the women's 200-yard freestyle. Lane 1, we have Julia Minkhouse from Virginia. Lane 2, Trudy Rothrock from Tennessee. Lane 3, Tiaja Pentar from Tennessee. Lane 4, your top qualifier from this morning, Paige Madden from Virginia. Lane 5, Morgan Scott from Alabama. Lane 6, Abby Szymanski from Tennessee. Lane 7, Kyla Vouse from Virginia. And in Lane 8, Ashley from Alabama. Your NCAA, American, and U.S. Open are held by Missy Franklin, 139.10. Your meet record is held by Erica Brown, 141.66. And your pool record is held by Missy Franklin, 141.40. An NCAA A cut in this event is a 142.98. To be invited to the meet last year, it took a 145.23. Turning at the 50, Paige Madden, 24.2, followed by Morgan Scott, 24.28. Third place is Abby Szymanski, 24.81. Paige Madden has extended her lead coming into the turn for the 100. Paige turns 49.89, followed by Morgan Scott, 50.88. Szymanski, 51.39, excuse me. Turning at the 150, Paige Madden turns in a 116.07. Still followed by Morgan Scott and Abby Szymanski. Tiaja Pentar in fourth place out in lane 3. Paige Madden wins 142.39. Second place goes to Morgan Scott, 145.2. And in third place, Tiaja Pentar, 145.6. Fourth place, Abby Szymanski, 145.88. Now moving into the men's 200 freestyle. This is heat number 1. Lane 2, Ethan Sanders from Tennessee. Lane 3, Owen Devine from Tennessee. Lane 4, Jacob McDonald from Tennessee. Lane 5, Connor Killen from Virginia. And in lane 6, Jaden Narvid from Tennessee. Ethan Sanders turns first, 22.7, followed by Owen Devine, 22.98. At the 100, it's still Ethan Sanders, 48.27, followed by Jacob McDonald, 48.54, and Owen Devine, 48.58.
Jacob McDonald takes the lead, 113.52, followed by Owen Devine, 114.27. Jake Narvid in third, 114.84. The 4 Tennessee boys are keeping 1 through 4 at the moment. Looks like Connor is taking over Jake Narvid just a little bit. And at the finish, it is Jacob McDonald, 138.24. Second place, Owen Devine, 139.79. Third place, Jake Narvid, 140.99. Fourth place, Connor Killen, 141.04.
Hey, come on.
Sorry, in heat number 2, we have Joey Tepper in lane 1 from Tennessee, Andrew Shea from Alabama in lane 2, Jack Moore in lane 3 from Virginia, Justin Grinder from Virginia, Jan Karlzak from Virginia, Alex Robinson from Alabama, Addie Laurencella from Virginia, and Landon Peoples from Alabama. At the 100 turn, Andrew Shea is in first place, 46.21, followed by Jan Karlzak from Virginia. And at the finish, it is Jan Karlzak from Virginia, 137.04, followed by Jack Moore, 138.2. Third place is Andrew Shea from Alabama. This is the A final for the men's 200-yard freestyle. Lane 1 is Jack Walker from Virginia. Lane 2, Nolan Briggs from Tennessee. Lane 3, Casper Petrosky from Alabama. Lane 4, Jack Wright from Virginia. Lane 5, Will Jackson from Tennessee. Lane 6, Sam Schilling from Virginia. Lane 7, Cam Arabach from Alabama. And in Lane 8, Rafael Ponce de Leon from Tennessee. Your NCAA, American and U.S. Open record are held by Harvard's Dean Ferris, 129.15. Your meet record is held by Jonas Pearson, set in 2008 at the first ever Tennessee Invitational, 132.79. Your pool record is held by Joe DeLuca, 131.65. An NCAA A cut is a 132.05, and it took a 134.07 to be invited to the meet last year. Turning at the first 50, it is Cam Arabach from Alabama, 21.73, followed by Sam Schilling, 21.84. Will Jackson, 21.85 in third place. Will Jackson takes the lead, 45.85, followed by Sam Schilling, 45.89. Cameron Arbach, 45.98 in third place. At the 150, Sam Schilling, 110.73, followed by Will Jackson, 110.8. Going into the last turn, Sam Schilling's increasing his lead just a little bit. Jack Wright takes the win, 134.88, followed by Sam Schilling, 135.38. Will Jackson, 136.02. Fourth place, Nolan Briggs, 136.06. Moving into the women's 100 breaststroke, this is heat number 1. We have in lane 3, Kalia Wong from Alabama. Lane 4, Alex Gebel from Tennessee. And in lane 5, Caitlin Rainera from Alabama. At the lead, it is Kalia Wong, followed by Alex Gebel. The 75, Kalia Wong, still followed by Alex Gebel and Caitlin Rainera. Gebel is charging home, though she had the fastest 25 split there. And at the finish, it looks like it's going to be Alex Gebel, 101.18, followed by Kalia Wong, 101.46, and Caitlin Rainera, 102.20. Moving into the A final for the women's 100 breaststroke. In lane number 1, we have Kat Wright from Alabama. Lane 2, Nicole Popoff from Tennessee. Lane 3, Anna Keating from Virginia. Lane 4, Mona McSherry, your top qualifier from Tennessee. Alexis Winger is in lane 5 from Virginia. Lane 6, Alex Walsh from Virginia. Lane 7, Emily Sykes from Tennessee. And in lane 8, Jocelyn Fisher from Alabama. Your NCAA American and U.S. Open record are held by Indiana's Lily King. Your meet and pool record are held by Tennessee Aquatics' Molly Haynes, 56.64. An A cut is an 58.60. And to be invited last year, it took a 59.98. First 25, Mona McSherry, 12.59, followed by Alex Walsh, 12.77. At the 50, still Mona McSherry, 27.37, followed now by Anna Keating, 28 flat. At the 75, still Mona McSherry, followed by Alex Walsh and Alexis Winger. Charging home, it's still Mona McSherry. Mona McSherry, 58.28, followed by Alex Walsh, 59.02. Third place, Alexis Winger, 59.12. And in fourth place, Anna Keating, 59.32. That is Mona McSherry's second lifetime best in this event today. Prior to this, her lifetime best was a 100. Moving into the men's 100 breaststroke. Lane 3, Cole Whitsett from Tennessee. Lane 4, Alexander Milanovic from Tennessee. And in lane 5, Joe Jordan from Tennessee. First 25 lead Alexander Milanovic, followed by Joel Jordan and Cole Whitsett. At the 50, it's still Alexander Milanovic, followed by Joe Jordan and Cole Whitsett. Milanovic's split there was a 25.28. Joe Jordan's was a 25.77, and Cole's was a 26.3. Milanovic still holding his lead. Joe Jordan's charging ahead of Milanovic here. At the touch, it's going to be Joe Jordan, 54.96, followed by Alexander Milanovic, 55.05. Cole Whitsett, 57.29. Heat number 2, we have August Lamb in lane 2 from Virginia. Lane 3, Nico Perner from Alabama. Lane 4, Trey Shiles from Alabama. Lane 5, Parker Kaye from Tennessee. Lane 6, Noah Nichols from Virginia. And in lane 7, Jack Zhu from Alabama. At the 50, it is Trey Shellis, 24.86, followed by Noah Nichols, 25.32. Parker Kaye in third place at the 50. Trey still holding his lead here, 38.94 at the 75. $53.62 for Trey, first place. Noah Nichols, 53.79, and in third place, Parker Kaye, 53.89. Now moving into the A final of the men's 100 breaststroke. Lane number 1, we have Derek Moss from Alabama. Lane 2, Colton Stogner from Alabama. Lane 3, Jarrell Dillard from Tennessee. Lane 4, Michael Hooley from Tennessee. Lane 5, Brett Champlin from Tennessee. Lane 6, Kiefer Barnum from Virginia. Lane 7, Liam Bell from Alabama. Lane 8, Matt Otto from Virginia. Your NCAA American and U.S. Open record are held by Indiana's Ian Finnerty, 49.69. Your meet record and pool record are held by Fabian, this name I cannot even, Schwischigen Schlagel, from Missouri, 51.36. An NCAA A cut in this event is a 51.67. Last year, it took a 52.46 to be invited to the meet. Your top 3 qualifiers in this event are in lane 3, 4, and 5, all of who are Tennessee Volunteers. The 25, it's Michael Hooley, followed by Brett Champlin, and in third place, Liam Bell. Jarrell Dillard in fourth place at that first 25 turn. At the 50, it is Liam Bell, followed by Michael Hooley. Jarrell Dillard has moved into third place at that 50 turn. Michael Hooley regains his lead here, followed by Liam Bell, and in third place, Kiefer Barnum. Michael Hooley, 51.89, followed by Liam Bell, 52.05. Lane 3, 52.56 for Kiefer Barnum. Fourth place, Jarrell Dillard, 52.72. Fifth place, Brett Champlin, 52.93. That is a new lifetime best for Michael Hooley. We'll take a 10-minute break here, and then we'll be back with the 100 backstroke, and then we'll finish tonight with the 800 freestyle relay. right, so we are back for the women's 100 backstroke. This is heat number 1. Lane number 2, we have Meg Peel from Alabama. Lane 3, Madeline Mecklin from Alabama. Lane 4, Danica Katzer from Tennessee. Lane 5, Kendall Shields from Tennessee. Lane 6, El Caldo from Tennessee. And in lane 7, Natalie Ungaretti from Tennessee. And at the 50, it is Kendall Shields, 26.08, followed by Meg Peel. The 75, it's still Kendall Shields, followed by Meg Peel and Danica Katzer. Oh, a tie. Danica Katzer and Kendall Shields both go 54-33. We are now moving into the A final for the women's 100-yard backstroke. In lane number 1, we have Megan Sichterman from Tennessee. Lane 2, Bailey Grenter from Tennessee. Lane 3, Morgan Liberto from Alabama. Lane 4, your top qualifier and your SEC champion, Ryan White. Lane 5, we have Caroline Geinlich from Virginia. Lane 6, Olivia Harper from Tennessee. Lane 7, Abby Coxo from Alabama. And in lane 8, Katie Cronin from Virginia. Your NCAA American and U.S. Open record are held by Beta Nelson from Wisconsin, 49-18. Your meet record is held by Ryan White, 51-38, set this morning. Your pool record is 50.60, set by Olivia Smoliga, 2017 SECs. An A cut in this event is a 50.93. To be invited last year, it took a 52.73. At the 25, it's Ryan White, followed by Caroline Geinlich and Olivia Harper. At the 50, Ryan White, 24-31, followed by Caroline Geinlich and Olivia Harper. Still Ryan White, Caroline Geinlich, and Olivia Harper. Ryan White, 50.45, followed by Caroline Geinlich, 52.10. Olivia Harper, 52.90. That is a new meet and pool record for Ryan White, breaking her own meet record and Olivia Smoliga's pool record. Now moving into the men's 100 backstroke. This will be heat number 1.
Hey, good mark.
Lane number 2, we have Jordan Tiffany from Tennessee. Lane 3, Joey Watcher from Alabama. Lane 4, Eric Stallmer from Alabama. Lane 5, Alex Robinson from Alabama. And in lane 6, Scott Scanlon from Tennessee. At the 50, it's Eric Stallmer, followed by Joey Watcher and Alex Robinson. The Alabama boys are 1, 2, 3 at that first 50. And at the touch, it is Eric Stallmer, 48.08, followed by Alex Robinson, 48.42. Third place, Jordan Tiffany, 48.97. Scott Scanlon, 49.06. Now moving into the A final. In lane number 1, we have Ben Blevins-Bohr from Tennessee. Lane number 2, we have Matthew Minke from Alabama. Lane number 3, Chris O'Connor from Alabama. Lane 4, Jake Markham from Alabama. Lane 5, Max Edwards from Virginia. Lane 6, Will Cole from Virginia. Lane 7, Harrison Lears from Tennessee. And in lane 8, Micah Chambers. Your NCAA American and U.S. Open record are held by Ryan Murphy from California, 43.49. Your meet record is held by Matthew Garcia, 45.96. And your pool record is held by Nick Tommen, 44.07. An A cut is a 44.95. Last year, it took a 46.22 to be invited to the meet.
Hey, good mark.
At the 25, it is Matthew Minke, followed by Harrison Lears. At the 50, Harrison Lears has taken the lead, followed by Chris O'Connor. Matthew Minke takes the lead, followed by Harrison Lears. We're coming into the finish. Under the flags, it is Jake Markham, 46.83, followed by Matthew Minke, 46.84. Max Edwards in third place, 46.94. Will Cole in fourth place, 47.19. Harrison Lears in fifth place, 47.25. We're going to have a break before the 800 freestyle relay. This is a 20-minute break. Welcome back. We're now on to the women's 800 freestyle relay. In lane number 2, we have Tennessee C. In lane number 4, we have Tennessee A. In lane 5, we have Alabama A. And in lane 6, we have Tennessee B. Virginia chose not to swim this event.
Take your mark.
In the lead right now is Alabama with Morgan Scott on their first leg, followed by Alexis Yeager from Tennessee out in lane 4. Coming into the first exchange, Alabama has the lead with Morgan Scott. 145.79, Alexis Yeager 147.69. That is Kinsey McMahon taking over for Alabama and Trudy Rothrock taking over for Tennessee A. Annie Rimmer taking over in lane 2 and Nicola Lane taking over in lane 6. Trudy outsplits McMahon in there, trying to catch up with her. At the exchange, it's still Alabama, 332.62 to Tennessee's 333.08. Trudy cuts down the lead there a little bit. Tiaja Pintar trying to chase down Gracie Fellner. Tiaja outsplits her by about 0.3 of a second there. Looks like Gracie's going to hold on, though. Still, Tiaja outsplit her by 1/10 of a second on that 50. Tiaja's still coming. And at the finish, it is Gracie Fellner, Alabama. So Alabama wins 705-69 to Tennessee 705-83. This is the men's 800 freestyle relay. Lane 3, Alabama B. Lane 4, Tennessee A. Lane 5, Alabama A. Lane 6, Tennessee B. Again, Virginia chose not to swim this event.
Hey, Jim.
And at the finish, it is Alabama 625.5, followed by Tennessee 630.28. That concludes the day 2 finals of the Tennessee double duel. Join us here tomorrow night for the last day of the short course version of this meet. Have a great night. Thank you very much.
The result